go. Appreciate you. And let me just grab a signature if you don't mind later.
A Mississippi man says he got more than a pizza from his Oxford Pizza Hut delivery driver on June 25th, 2023. Jamerious Archie opened his door to receive his order when the white driver called him a racial slur. Take a listen.
Pizza Hut, how you doing? Here we go. Appreciate you. And let me just grab a signature if you don't mind later. I'll pay you up.
In case you missed it, we will play it again.
Pizza Hut, how you doing? Here we go. Appreciate you. And let me just grab a signature if you don't mind later. I'll pay you up.
Joining me from Jackson, Mississippi is attorney Carlos Moore. Mr. Moore, thank you so much for being here tonight. I just got to start with, what in the world? I almost wanted to play it a third time. Can you please tell us and help us process what we just saw? Was that real?
It was real. And like you, I could not believe my ears. I mean, this happened in 2023 in Oxford, Mississippi. This young African-American man ordered a pizza in a nice neighborhood, and it was just a normal day, and he never could have expected to be called the N-word just for ordering a pizza.
And what was, we read the statement that you posted, but, knowing your client, what was his reaction after the fact? Because it seems like such a natural transaction, but it just seems like kind of after the fact, it seems like, whoa, wait a minute, what just happened? Like, how did he process what he experienced?
Yes, it was very difficult to process. He's undergoing counseling now for what he endured, but it caught him off guard. I mean, most people, had they had any kind of forewarning, knew exactly what he said when he said it and processed it immediately, they probably would have stolen the pizza driver. But I mean, he was so shocked, he ran to his video surveillance to run it back. He had to run it back again to make sure he had heard what he heard. He showed it to his wife, and they agreed there was nothing wrong with his ears. He had been called the N-word.
Yeah, I had to double check my ears a couple of times as well. And has there been a response I want to bring my panel in shortly, but has there been a response from Pizza Hut about how they're looking at handling this situation to date since this happened last summer?
Evidently, Pizza Hut has ratified this comment. The man is still a delivery driver in Oxford, Mississippi, and he is still free to roam the streets and deliver pizzas and call people the N-word at will. And so this is very disappointing.
Still wow, that was not something I was expecting to hear. I have so many other questions, but I want to bring in my panel to share some of their thoughts on this as well. I'm going to bring in Dr. Julianne Malveaux, economist and author out of Washington, D.C., as well as Gavin Reynolds, contributor to The Root and former speechwriter to Vice President Kamala Harris. Dr. Malveaux, I want to turn the first question over to you.
I don't even know what to say. My mom was the first one of two. Ole Miss hired two African Americans in 1974, and my mom was one of the two in the School of Social Work. And I had occasion to visit Oxford, where the racism is just it's casual. I mean, while that is egregious, it's not unexpected. One of my Oxford story is I went to see my mom. I flew in, took the putt-putt from Memphis to Oxford, and the driver would not take me. This was 1975 because I had a dashiki on. And he called me in and da-da. And I called my mom saying, Mommy, the guy will not give me a ride. She said, I'll send somebody to get you. She said, what do you have on? I said, a dashiki, what do I wear every day? And she said, I should have told you to put a T-shirt on. She said the racism here is crazy. So apparently a lot has not changed. The casual use of the N-word is Mississippi. Omekongo, I'm doing this research on lynching. Mississippi had, I don't know if they're number one or number two in the number of lynchings, but I want to ask Brother Attorney, this seems so casual. What are you actually suing for dollar-wise, and what kind of statute will protect your client?
We did not name a monetary amount my client continues to treat, and we just want justice. And so we believe that a reasonable jury will come up with an amount should we get to trial. And it's just so outrageous, and he did it so nonchalantly. I guess he does it often, but he just casually called him the N-word and thought it was acceptable. And I'm just shocked that Pizza Hut has basically ratified this action and still employs this young man, the delivery driver.
Thank you. Gavin, your question.
Yeah, brother, thank you for joining us, and thank you for what you're doing on behalf of your client. Omekongo, I'm like you. I had to run that back like 3, 4, 5 times. I played it with one of my friends, and I was like, are you hearing this? Yeah. So I guess my question for you, sir, is, I imagine and you might not be able to answer this question, but I'm just so curious, like what went down right after this took place? Was the rest of the conversation, was there any additional conversing between the two? And again, I understand you might not be able to answer that, directly, but just help us contextualize sort of what happened immediately after we heard that comment, because the video sort of cuts off rather abruptly.
Yes, my client stayed cool. He is a law-abiding citizen of Mississippi. He really couldn't believe his ears, and so he wanted to double check. And so he let the man go ahead and leave after he signed the receipt, and then he went and shared what just happened with his wife, and they went to the video doorbell system and watched the video and listened to it, and they confirmed he had heard what he heard. And so that's when he contacted me, and we have tried to settle this out of court with Pizza Hut, but they have been non-responsive until we filed a lawsuit, and they still have not taken the appropriate action to resolve this matter.
And so that leads me to my next question, Mr. Moore, because we're talking June, we're coming up, it's almost a year now, and you filed this lawsuit. And I know there's so much you can say publicly to everybody, but has Pizza Hut been in any communication with you whatsoever about this incident? Or are they just thinking that you're going to go away?
I've spoken with the attorney for the institution for Pizza Hut, but they have not done anything still to resolve this matter. And so we're continuing to fight, and we will take it all the way to trial. This is unacceptable. You cannot just go around calling people the N-word, even in Mississippi. I am just appalled. My client is appalled, and we are appalled that Pizza Hut has done nothing. But we do believe a good citizen jury will give us justice.
And my last question for you, just in terms of the climate that we're living into now, today with so much going on, it just seems like there's a certain level of comfort that people have just addressing us in a particular way. Has that added to the level of concern and fear that your clients have experienced after this incident?
Yes, my client has a young family, a wife and a child, that he's afraid to even give interviews. He's in Oxford, Mississippi. He does not want his business jeopardized. Wow. He fears for his safety. I mean, this is the same city where last week they were taunting a black woman, calling her Lizzo and making monkey noises. This is in Oxford, Mississippi. Oxford continues to burn. Mississippi is still on fire.
Yes, and that's definitely a story that we're getting to actually later today as well. Well, I thank you for your courage and your client and his family for their courage as well. And please continue to keep us updated on what's going on with this trial.
Will do.
Thank you.
Fanbase is pioneering a new era of social media for the creator economy. This next generation social media app with over 600,000 users is raising $17 million, and now is your chance to invest. For details on how to invest, visit startengine.com/fanbase or scan the QR code. Another way we're giving you the freedom to be you without limits.